Over in Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is apparently on the brink of resigning because the rats are starting to jump off the sinking ship. We know he's toast next year anyway. But his Deputy PM and Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland, has pulled the pin, citing disagreement over spending and how to address Trump's tariffs. She put her letter to Trudeau on X. She said, "On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in the cabinet. In making your decision, you made clear that I no longer credibly enjoy that confidence and possess the authority that comes with it." Now, I know a PM has the discretion to choose who is and isn't in his cabinet, but this is a woman he's tried to sack here. I thought he was a full-on feminist.
The United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
The proud feminist Bronwyn pushing the women out of his cabinet. But this suggestion now that he might go before the next election, good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
Absolutely. I mean, he is a socialist.
Oh, yes.
Through and through, and they always tell us. So you don't have to worry. But the really interesting thing is that his coalition partner, which he depends upon, the leader of that party, I think it's called the New Democratic Party, has called for him to resign. There is a call for an election to be held over Christmas. That's how bad it is. But the leader of the opposition in Canada is very strong. He is coming out as strong, and I think he will clearly win that next election, whether it's held over Christmas because his own people throw him out, or whether they have to wait until the new year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one way or another he's going, but one by one, Stephen, these woke leaders are just slowly falling off. We got rid of Biden, we've got rid of Kamala, though apparently she's going to have another go. I'll get to that a bit later. Trudeau's gone.
God help the Democrat Party.
I know.
Look, I think it's actually more interesting than at the moment. I mean, you can point to Trudeau. You can move to the Conservatives in Germany, which government's in meltdown. You can talk about Macron in France in meltdown. Keir Starmer only just won the election in meltdown. We've seen Japan just go through a leadership change, and South Korea imposed martial law for 6 hours. So I actually think if you look across the Western democratic world, you're actually seeing quite an extraordinary set of circumstances around leadership and strong leadership. And while I don't share Bronwyn's view that Trudeau's a socialist, on Bronwyn's definition, her and the older Banachek are the only non-socialists in the entire political world. So everyone else is a socialist.
So hard, you are seriously trying hard.
I just know the buttons to push to get you out of the box.
Well, and
but genuinely, I think you're actually.
I don't need any help from you, Stephen.
No, that is true. That is true. You're out of the box already. There's no question.
And that's exactly how we are.
But no, I think that's a fascinating situation right across the democratic world at the moment. That a string of governments, both sides of politics. Well, I don't think you can call the Christian Democrats in Germany socialists, but they're in trouble. Macron, maybe you think he's a socialist. Most of the socialists in France don't. But yeah, genuinely, you look at that array of countries. No, I said Starmer is in trouble as well. He wouldn't call himself a socialist, though many others would, so you're probably in good company there.
You know, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. You'd say the same for socialists.
Bronwyn, you think I'm a socialist. You're the only person on the planet who thinks I'm a socialist.
Well, Stephen, it's the company you keep.
We'll have to run a viewer poll on that one.
The company you keep. There are degrees of socialists.
Well, that is.
There's the really evil ones.
Well, if you want to talk about the
really
Trudeau
evil ones,
and whether or not he's a socialist or
that's
perhaps
a
communist, because you know all the rumours about him.
Indeed, Castro.
Indeed.
I mean, his mother first tried the Rolling Stones.
Well, you put a photo of the two of them together, and they do look remarkably similar. Now, Labor's gone into full scare campaign mode over Peter Dutton's costings for nuclear energy. Jim Chalmers has just added a lazy $4 trillion to the coalition's forecasts of $331 billion, which is, well, I suppose it's quite the discrepancy, isn't it? Here they both are.
This will be one of the choices that people face when they go into the ballot box next year between Labor's plan for a future powered by renewables and firmed by gas, relying on storage and hydro, versus this economic insanity.
Well, it's just comical. I mean, Jim Chalmers is like some sort of comedy routine where whatever he says, I would fact check. He refuses to release any of the detail in relation to that claim.
I mean, I know Labor carried on for a long time saying, oh, where's the coalition's numbers, where's the coalition's numbers? But when they're throwing around that $4 trillion, I mean, come on. Do they expect anyone to believe that?
No. Let's put it in context. He's got to come out with my EFO. He's going to have to show that he is plunging the country into debt for decades. This is the man who skited, oh dear, look at us, we got two surpluses.
It's already in debt thanks to Scott Morrison's government.
Let's talk about something else. That's what's being put up here.
Yeah.
I'll throw out $4 trillion. I threw out $275. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes the word he says. That's why I call him the snake charmer. It's all an illusion. Even in his language with regard to the budget, he said there are pressures on the budget. He means new spending, but he won't say so. It's pressure. So if you go through his lexicon, as I see the Australian did quite cleverly the other day, you see that here is a man who has got a world salad all of his own. And it is really showing, he thinks, that he's the strong man. He knows he's got Albo the albatross round his neck. So he comes out and says, look at me, I'm the strong man. I'm going to take it there. I'll win this election. And then you can get away with Albo and I'll be the new Prime Minister. That's what that is all about.
God help us with that one. But I mean, it does make a mockery of it, doesn't it, Stephen? $4 trillion, seriously.
Look, I think there is a valid point underneath some of what Bronwyn said. No, I think it's a valid point. Let me finish about what you and Bronwyn are saying. Dutton's the first one who came up with a dodgy set of numbers for Labor's renewables. Oh, it's $1 trillion when you add it all up. It's a completely dodgy number. I think if Labor wants to get into competing, well, theirs is $4 trillion versus ours is $1 trillion according to Dutton. Dutton's won the debate. I think if Labor spends its time trying to, say that it's a $4 trillion number versus Dutton saying ours is a $1 trillion number, Labor will lose this debate. I don't think that's the way. There are plenty of holes to be challenged. Some of them are a bit technical. I famously remember, Bronwyn's love child, Malcolm Turnbull, who she voted for, saying on national radio.
It was supposed to be John Howard. Tony Abbott made that claim, Stephen. Don't destroy mythology. It's not reasonable.
So that's fair. But Malcolm Turnbull went on national television and said the national broadband network is a waste of money because we only need to use 25 megabits by the year 2023. Last year, we only need 25 megabits download upload speeds. That's actually what he said on radio. Okay, so he downplayed the actual demand that was being created in the economy, and we all know what the NBN is being used for in 2023 and 2024. And Dutton's played the same trick. Dutton's gone, there'll be no increase in demand in energy over the next X amount of years. That is an absolutely bogus claim. And for Frontier to be trying to pretend that estimate, so they're playing the same trick. They can play down the costs of their
You're going to have to put those red underpants on your head again. You'll have to put those red underpants on your head again.
Well, I'll tell you what.
They won't fit on the bun. They won't fit on the bun on my head.
I'll tell you what big tech companies are doing overseas, Stephen, because they need lots and lots of power to do their work. They're investing in nuclear, including Microsoft. Stephen Conroy, Bronwyn Bishop, thank you so much for your time.